Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And today we're going to break down and discuss how you have the potential to make some really good earnings off of Dave and Buster's. I know in the last couple of days, they have been increasing anywhere from 3 to 6%, but there is some money to be made, whether it be the midterm projection of the stock going up or the long term projection of the stock going down with the new Omicron variant. Whether you want to put calls or call options, put calls, but if you want to put options or call options, there's still money to be made, and I'm going to show you how. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, for the last year or so, Dave and Buster has actually been up 19.53% the past 3 months. They've been down around 5% the past month. They've been up around 8% the past week, down 1.37%. And then in the pre-market today, we see Dave and Buster is still down around 0.13% nonetheless. Now, for you guys who are not familiar with Dave & Buster's, Dave & Buster's engages in the ownership and operation of entertainment and dining venues under the name Dave & Buster's. It offers a full menu of entrees and appetizers, a selection of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, and an assortment of entertainment attractions centered around playing games and watching live sports and other televised events. The company was founded by David O. Caveira and James W. Corley in 1982 and is headquartered in Dallas, Texas, okay? They roughly have around 8,500 employees. Their market capitalizations is roughly at $1.9 billion. And currently they are giving dividends, but I don't see that here. Their 52-week low was 29.83, so around $30 per share. And a 52-week high has been around $52 per share. Now, the analysts on Robinhood are stating that this is a 70% buy at 30% hold, okay? Now, you notice their Q2 of fiscal 21 earnings was up, and then as soon as they received information about the Omicron variant, people started retracting from going to Dave & Buster's, and now in Q3 fiscal year 21, it is down, okay? People who also own Dave & Buster's, they have Norwegian Cruise Line, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and American Airlines, okay? Those are some other ones I believe that you guys can look into and possibly make some money. So let's kind of do in a real quick deep dive of this particular stock, because I know it's on a higher end of most people's budget when you're really trying to get into a large volume of shares outside of option trading, right? So let's break this down. So as we're looking at this particular stock family, give me a second. Here we go. In the past year, 18.21%, but year to date, we're looking at only 0.08%, which is pennies on the dollar, so to speak. Now, their EPS, their earnings per share, is in a plus positive at 49 cents, okay? Now, dividends, which are paid quarterly every 3 to 4 months, depending on the stock, 16 cents. I know, not a lot. But let's get into some of the headline news, which is also important, as I state over and over again, for how a stock will perform, either the present day market or future market, okay? States here that Dave & Buster's entertainment stock outperforms competitors on strong trading day. That was on Friday. Dave & Buster's stock remains steady Thursday, still outperforms market. Dave & Buster entertainment stock underperformed Wednesday compared to competitors, okay? I don't know who's really in this competitive market with Dave & Buster's, because Dave & Buster's is like a sports bar with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages and a large video game conglomerate. I mean, Dave & Buster is one of those adult things that I think when it's within your budget that a lot of us would like to do. I know I've been to Dave & Buster's probably in my lifetime, maybe about 5 times, but every time I go to Dave & Buster's, I have a great time. So I don't think Dave & Buster's are going to go anywhere. They will struggle as there are new variants coming out. People will start retracting and going out, but that is a great indicator, right? When you really saw to see the stock bottom out around $36 per share, that is when you should buy, because we're going to get into the prediction and the forecasted amount here in the next year or so, okay? As people are taking their, their jabs and those things and getting their different booster shots, people feel more confident and people will start to go back out and patronize Dave and Buster's. Okay. Let me show you some other news here. Just keep you guys informed. I saw some other things here. Look at this, family. So we see Dave and Buster's received a buy from Jeffries, which is the tipranks.com. Do option traders know something about Dave and Buster's Entertainment stocks that we don't? Okay, and that's coming from Zacks.com, one of my favorite websites. Also, they have a strong buy, according to Raymond James. So a lot of these indicators, family, is you have to get in and get out and really play the market. More times than not, because of the volatility of the market right now, because of the pandemic, I have really been converting to a lot of swing trading. If you're trying to keep your portfolio consistent at 10% or more, you will incur more taxes, but it may be more beneficial for you to move large volumes of stocks, whether you be selling or buying. But if you want to play the long-term game, if you don't want to incur a lot of taxes, then I would tell you definitely buy stocks at this particular point where they're really, really low, especially those stocks that are behind people patronizing businesses in the open. Don't forget, Dave and Buster's are usually in a large building where people go in and adults go in and have a great time and play video games, etc. And you can also bring your kids as well. Okay, it's not just for adults, but that's kind of where it's tailored to because of some of the games as well as alcohol being served. Let's move on here. Now, Yahoo Finance is stating that right now in the short term, we're looking at a 2 to 6 week short term going down. So people who are into option trading, look to put in your puts. And then midterm, okay, swing traders and call traders. If you're doing option trading, call trades, this is a good time to buy as well. So you're going to do a long call or you're going to do swing trading and look for the midterm, anywhere from 6 weeks to 9 months. You will have to keep your trending analysis close to ear so you guys can track that very well. Okay. Dave & Buster's announced its participation in the 2022 ICR conference. That's really notable to note. Dave & Buster's up 6 points since last earnings report. Can it continue? Is a strong possibility. Do option traders know something about Dave & Buster's? Again, option traders, for you guys who are getting into option trader, look at Dave & Buster's, okay? And then, of course, we're going to look into the buy rating here. On Yahoo, they have it at a 2 at a buy rating, but Raymond James has it at a 3, which is considered a strong buy. But nonetheless, you're going to see conflicting information about Dave & Buster's, that it may be overbought, but it still has a strong buy rating, okay? So here's some investor relations that I think that's important too. They're letting you know, which has been all over the news, that they have a new chief financial officer. Now, this could be for various reasons why they have a new CFO. One, the old CFO wasn't cutting it. 2, the old CFO retired. 3, they wanted to really change the structure of the business financially, and a new fresh face and new strategies and ideas could be exactly that. So anytime you have the CEO, the CFO, people, what I call it in the head shed, the top level executives, when you start having mixing and matchings and people are getting, either they're leaving the business or they quote unquote, don't say they're retiring, but they're transitioning, that can really make the stock volatile because investors like to see stability. They like to see the same people and steady growth over the course of time. Now, if Dave & Buster's is restructuring the business financially and they're pulling out their old CFO with a new CFO, that can also be a great indicator for you to go ahead and buy as well, because you're like, okay, they're doing the great things and keep their stock profitable, okay? Now, with that being said, let's put a little bit of damper on this all great news of you buying this particular stock. Dave & Buster's has struggled during the pandemic with closures to its location. The stock is down 37.1% for the year to date, but has bounced back up more than 51% over the past month as positive COVID-19 vaccines has been announced. Now, that's important because when you do the math here, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at around a 13% increase, okay? They probably put in some restrictions or routines and scheduling that's going to make people or have people to have the illusion of feeling safe. whether they are or not. Okay. Okay. If you're over here, you have to wear a mask. Over here, you don't. If you're by yourself, they may come up with all sorts of things. I haven't been in the past year and a half or so, so I really can't tell you. But nonetheless, I believe this is one of those stocks that you should put a part of your watch list. Okay, because I think you're really getting it at a discounted price. Well, we're looking at around $38.25, and it's forecasted over $50 per share. Now, as you notice, they were talking about how they have closed some of their locations. Dave & Buster's has over 140 locations in the U.S. alone. They also have 2 in Canada. So that's notable to note, because if they're expanding into international markets, that makes their market share a lot larger, meaning that their stocks can either be split maybe in the next 5 years. They can move more volume over the course of time, which makes long-term the stock more profitable. So whether you're in a long-term swing trading or call or put option, this is still a viable stock for you guys to look at. Now, one of the partnerships that I love when companies partner with other businesses, which I'm not too familiar with this particular business here called Pour My Beer, but this is one of their vendors they have partnered with to increase, again, their profitability and lower their cost of some of their stock when it comes to beer and alcoholic beverages. That is also good to note as well. Moving along, Dave & Buster's forecast. Right now, we see that the low forecast is at $38, currently is at $38.25, but the median price at 43.2% is at $55 per share. At a high, $58 per share was an increase of 51%, which was essentially already seen, but that equaled out to only being 13%. But look for it again in the next 12 months or so, okay? So these are all great things from Dave & Buster's that I think you guys should look at. Look into your portfolio, see if you have a little wiggle room, whether it be swing trading, option trading, but nonetheless, this could be a great buy, either if the stock goes up or the stock goes down. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. Good morning, Wendell. You guys have a great and wonderful Monday. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.